Yes.
What is the time duration for the joke master?
It is 2 minutes.
Good evening, everyone. To all 100 of South Delhi Toastmasters provide a supportive and positive learning experience in which members are empowered to develop communication and leadership skills, resulting in greater self-confidence and personal growth. Before we begin the meeting, there are a few ground rules. Let's take 10 seconds to put your mobile phones on silent mode. Please unmute yourself only when it is your chance to speak. Keep a pen handy to note down your learnings from this meeting. At Toastmasters, we do not talk about religion, sex, or politics. I mean that we do not talk about in an offensive manner. So, to begin the meeting, I would like everyone to please switch on their cameras. I cannot still see many people switching on their cameras. I think there's some network lag from my side. So I would like to hand over the stage to the president of our club, Toastmaster Nimit.
Thank you, Toastmaster Ritika. A very good evening to all members and honored guests. I welcome you all warmly to the 793rd meeting of South Delhi Toastmasters Club. All right, so let me talk to you about an experience I had today. So I had a family function to attend, and I declined obviously because I had to attend today's meeting. And I told my aunt I cannot come today, unfortunately, because I have this Toastmasters meeting. So my aunt, as all aunts, in a very rude, typical tone said, "Toastmasters, you want to cancel a family function for Toastmasters?" Obviously, I could not describe her my love for Toastmasters and SDTM, but I had to get back at my aunt. My aunt said, "What is Toastmasters?" I had to give her some points. Here it goes. I told my aunt, Toastmaster is an ardent speaker, a leader and a guide who gains the knowledge for the same by following the Toastmaster international protocols. My aunt, again in a very rude tone, said, Toastmasters International, what is that? I yet again had to give her a reply, and here it is. Toastmasters International is a non-profit educational organization that teaches you to become a confident public speaker and a strong leader. And this you will realize in due course of this meeting. This organization has more than 345,000 memberships in one of 15,900 clubs in 142 countries that make up a global network of meeting locations. I further went ahead and said to my aunt, Toastmasters is the place where you will push your boundaries. Push your boundaries in public speaking, in leadership, in skill development, in networking, and you name it. You will get to know yourself better when you actually deliver speeches at our club. You will get to know how to face people, how to manage people, how to network with people, how to encourage people, and how to evaluate people. You can compete and get advices from the best of the lot. In one word, it is everything we need in the professional world to survive. Obviously, my aunt did get nothing of this. But fellow Toastmasters and guests, I must take pride in saying that we are one of the best clubs in the fraternity. We have the friendliest and the most supportive club environment. We have track record of excellency, and we are one of the best in the business with various accomplishments accumulated through sheer hard work and talent of our members. Also, what you will see in our club is diversity. We have one of the most diverse set of people, all ages, all backgrounds, whether you call lawyers, entrepreneurs, engineers, CAs, CPAs, and name it, we have people from all backgrounds. So obviously, This is where my conversation ended with my aunt. In case you find an aunt or an uncle, them just tell them attend a meeting of South Delhi Toastmasters and they will get all their answers. And if you happen to convince your aunt and uncle, trust me, I will give you a special discount offer as well. Moving on, I see quite a few guests come up in today's meeting. In the interest of time, I will request 2 or 3 guests to please introduce yourself.
Hello everyone, maybe there is some glitch from Toastmaster Nimit end. So may I ask Toastmaster, may I guest Sakshi, how you came to know about the Saudi Toastmaster Club and why you are here? So Toastmaster Sakshi.
Hi, Amit. Yeah, so I happen to be preparing for GMAT currently, and I am working with Deloitte as well. So as an audit senior, so I was preparing with my tutor for GMAT, and he said that why don't you work on your profile and build like you can add some skills, you can work on your profile, you can work on your personal development. And he said, why don't you think about Toastmasters? And I was like, what is that? I haven't heard about it ever. So, and I researched, and I actually opened a lot of links in Delhi and from Delhi, and then I happened to just dial the number for South Delhi Toastmaster, and that's how here I am. And my main objective is just to work on myself, work on my public speaking skills, and yeah, that's all.
So thank you, Sakshi. I believe you are on the right place. So I can see there is a guest, Mary. So Mary, can you unmute yourself and let me know a little bit about why you are here and how you came to know about Saudi Toastmaster Club?
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
You may not be seeing my face today, but I'm excited to be in this meeting. It's a great honor. I actually joined through Arushi. I looked up this club from the Toastmasters website. I am in India for a few months. I'll be leaving, so I decided to join this club and be in this meeting. I'm visiting from Nairobi, Kenya, from East Africa, and I'm excited to be with you this evening. Thank you.
Thank you, Mary. It's our pleasure to be here. So now, not without taking any further time, I would like to call today's Toastmaster of the day, Toastmaster CHERYL. She is coming with an very fascinating topics theme for the today's meeting. So without any further ado, I would like to call Toastmaster CHERYL as a Toastmaster of the day for today's meeting. Over to you, Toastmaster CHERYL.
Thank you, Toastmaster Amit, for a wonderful introduction. So without further ado, I will start with the meeting. So how to be an adult? What is adulthood? Who do you think is an adult in your eye? Anyone in the
CHERYL, can I answer?
Yeah, sure.
I think turning 18 years or plus 18 years of age, when you get your voting and the driving license and all the Indian citizen rights, then it is like you are adult, means.
Yeah.
And you get your college life and all these things. You are in another phase of life, so you are going through an adult phase of life, or you are going through an very big phase of life where you have job opportunities and all these things. So I think from that time we become adult.
You're actually right, Sandra. Even I, even I went to that space and
Cheryl,
I
can I
felt,
answer?
yeah, yeah, sure.
So
Sure.
adulthood is more than just getting your documents. It's about making sure that there are some things which will happen which you anticipate that you could be delayed for things, but you don't overreact. It's about having a poker face most of the time. That's what is that, because you can be an adult at 16 also if that person is suppose a 16-year-old becomes a sports person, gets an opportunity, the experience they go through, that's also adulthood is not just about being, it's more than just being mature, it's about being less aggressive about things. It's a fine line between being too excited and being too aggressive. It's somewhere in between. You can be aggressive, you can be excitable. It's just about balancing it out. It can be at 16 in the way, it can be at 60, because even at 60 people can still act as children because they make a big deal about small things. So adulthood is not making a mountain out of a molehill most of the time. That's my understanding.
Thank you, Toastmaster Amit. Sorry, Aditya. Uh, so even I am looking forward to become a more adult, because it is time for me to be more responsible at this moment of time. So thank you so much, Sandra and Toastmaster Aditya, to guide me through your insightful perspectives. So adulthood for most kids out there can be a pop star, to be a movie star, or to be a princess. So just like their idols they watch on cartoons. For me, it is my elder sibling who's too adult for me. So there are also some of the fun characters which I imagine and which come across, which might have come across you guys also. So I know a 40-year-old man who is an adult by age, but is still a teenager by behavior. A funny There's also a funny character that comes to my mind called Mr. Samuel, Mr. Sam from Dubai, who is dressed like an adult, who is a successful businessman, but in reality can't meet his basic ends in his life. So, is adulthood really tough? Who is really an adult? I always thought that being an adult is to cook, is to stay away from home or get a job, etc. But to be an adult is to be more conscious about yourself. It is how we distribute our energy every day. It is about our responsibilities we face each and every day, all the obstacles that come into our lives. It is all that small things we ignore every day in life. When is the last time you were called an adult? Anybody? I'm looking for interesting answers. Sure, Navjot.
Yeah, I will add to this. Like the only time I feel I'm adult when I take responsibility for everything, each and everything in my life. It's not like I'm 60, somebody is 30. It's all about when you take life responsibility and not make up stories about life and just take the responsibility for everything.
Thank you, Toastmaster Navjot. That was a great answer. So even I take responsibilities very seriously, and I try to fulfill it and achieve it to the fullest. So I have been called adult for like 2 3 times, but still I feel some some children out there are more adults than us. In my opinion, age has absolutely nothing to do with it. The trait of adulthood often seen in children as well. Children like Greta has made a difference out there, spreading awareness about climate change. Some teenagers can be full of aspirations, hopeful, thinking to change the world. How many of us still dream like that and believe that we can still change the world at the age of 60, 26, or 30 or 40? So that's from my regarding my theme. So over to us about the agenda of the day. The meeting is divided into 3 parts. Prepared speech section. In the prepared speech sections, there are 4 speakers today where they will be presenting speeches for 5 to 7 minutes. Second section is divided in the table topics section. The table topic section will be taken by Toastmaster Shailendra, where he'll call all the guests, and the guest will speak on a given topic on 1 to 2 minutes. Then there's the last section, which is the evaluation section. In the evaluation section, the tag team will give the report, give their report, and also the evaluators will evaluate the respective speakers, and the general evaluator will evaluate the whole meeting. So I'll hand over the stage to Toastmaster Shivangi, who will introduce her tag team, who will help her move forward. Over to you, Toastmaster Shivangi.
Thank you, Toastmaster CHERYL. So good afternoon, good evening, everyone. I, Shivangi, will be the general evaluator for today's meeting. The strength of a Toastmasters meeting is in the preparation, and the magic pill for it is evaluation. So as an evaluator of today's meeting, I will be observing the whole meeting and see all those people, especially focusing on all those people who are not being evaluated by a particular evaluator. At the end of the meeting, I will provide my general comments and how we can improvise and improve in our everyday meeting. In addition to this, because a single person cannot handle such a vast meeting, so I have my dedicated and dedicated team members who is important in different aspects. So let me introduce to you my team, and they will be each one of them will be coming and briefing about their role as well. So to start, please welcome Toastmaster Amit, the timer of the day. Toastmaster Amit.
Thank you, Toastmaster Shivangi. Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and dear guests. So I am Toastmaster Amit, timer for today's meeting. As a timer, my role would be record, remind, and report. I will record the time for each speaker who will come on this virtual platform. I will remind you your time, and I will report once called upon by the general evaluator in the third section. I will. There is 3 types of speakers. Speakers who have time 5 to 7 minutes. At 5 minutes, I will show the green card. Let me show it to you. And that is the qualifying time. Then there is a target time. I will show with the yellow card. And there is a finish time that I will show with the red card. So for prepared speakers, we have time for 5 to 7 minutes. At 5 minutes, I will show green card. 6 minutes, I will show amber, and 7 minutes, I will show red card. There is one icebreaker, and for icebreaker speech time allotted is 4 to 6 minutes. 4 minutes, I will show green, 5 yellow, and 6 red. There is a table topic section. As a whole, table topic section is for 15 minutes, and for each speaker, there is a time allotted 1 to 2 minutes. At 1 minute, I will show green, 1.5 minutes amber, and 2 minutes red. There is an evaluation section for speak evaluator and auxiliary role player. Time allotted is 2 to 3 minutes. At 2 minutes, I will show green, 2.5 amber, and 3 minutes red. There is a 30-second grace either side for the speaker and the evaluator, but there is a grace period, grace time 30 seconds for the table topic speaker only upper side. That is the grace time is 30 seconds. So I will see you again in the third section of the meeting with my report. Over to you, General Evaluator Toastmaster Shivangi.
Thank you, Toastmaster Amit. Now the next auxiliary role player we have is the R counter of the today's meeting, Toastmaster Sanja. Over to you, Toastmaster Sanja.
Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and dear guests. I am Toastmaster Sandra, the R counter for today's meeting. I will be noting down the R's, ums, long pauses, short pauses, so like or some unwanted words like R's, ums, and I will I will give my report as and when called by the GE. Over to you, Toastmaster Shiv.
Of the Toastmaster Aditya.
Thank you, Toastmaster Shivangi. So, I am the grammarian for tonight's meeting. And as a grammarian, my role is to check for good phrases and words, as well as give instances of incorrect grammar or incorrect use of subject verb agreement and more in addition. And also my role is to introduce the word and the idiom of the day. So the word of the day is urbane, which means notably polite or polished in manner. For example, Toastmasters are expected to be urbane while delivering speeches, or as adding to what CHERYL said, adults are expected to be urbane in their behavior. The most of the time we are not, but it's an expectation within quotes. We are not, that's up to us, but we are expected to be urbane. The idiom of the day is to hit the bull's eye. And there are a lot of meanings for this. For example, shooters and archers are expected to hit the bull's eye to qualify for the next round in various championships, and to hit it home, DCP goals is the bull's eye for many clubs. That is hitting that target, which is the DCP, attaining certain number of DCP goals for the clubs. So to hit the bull's eye, which means if a speaker is able to deliver a speech with the objective, they have hit the bullseye. So you have to show a thumbs up if any of the speakers, guests, members use the idiom of the day, that is urbane, or word of the day, that is to hit the bullseye in their speeches. Either clap or give a thumbs up, or if you can't come on camera due to any reason, and you can hit the bullseye by showing a digital thumbs up through the panel. So back to the GE, Shivangi.
Thank you, Toastmaster Aditya. Now the next and the most urbane role of the meeting, which is the listener of the meeting. So the listener of the meeting for today is Toastmaster Shubhashri.
One of the most sincere forms of respect is actually listening to what another person has to say. Says Bryant McGill, an international best-selling author and an American activist. Good evening, Madam Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters, and dear guests. Today, I will act as the ears of the meeting, and that is none other than the coveted listener of the day. As the listener, I will note interesting tidbits of the meeting and of what the other speakers are saying, and then I will ask some questions at the end of the meeting to know if you were listening. Now, active listening is a critical trait to be a good and a successful leader. Aren't we all wanting to be the same? Now, whom can we think of? I wondered in general. I also looked over our history, and it says that there were great listeners in the past. So one of the great listeners was our very own, the father of the nation, Mahatma Gandhi. Now, this might surprise you, many of you, but Gandhi was actually not very urbane. In other words, he was a very fairly mediocre public speaker. He wasn't blessed with natural oratory skills, but he could still arrest the attention of people. That's because he had something greater than just the ability to speak well. He could listen well. So he could listen to all the problems of the people and the oppositions. Who else do you think is a good listener? It can be anyone famous or anyone known to you. Oh, wait, hold your answers for the end of the meeting when I give my report. Back to you, Toastmaster. Back to you, General Evaluator.
Thank you, Toastmaster Shubhashri. So with this, we come to the end of the introduction of the general evaluation section. I along with my team of role players will be presenting my report at the end of the meeting. Now, let us take back to the adulthood and please welcome the Toastmaster of the day, Toastmaster CHERYL.
Thank you, Toastmaster Shivangi. I would like to call upon stage our joke master of the day, Toastmaster Arushi, to start with a joke. Toastmaster Arushi?
Yes, thank you, Toastmaster CHERYL. All right, so I'm pulling this off for the very first time. And how many men think that it is difficult to understand women? Only above. Okay, all right. You know, I actually have a solution for this. It's this. So what I do is I have this in my room, and it actually becomes angry too. So what I do is whenever I'm angry, this is a warning sign for my family members. I keep it in my room in a specific place, which is for all to see. And when I'm in a good mood, that's what they see. So when I'm in a bad mood, nobody messes up with me. So this is my way of helping not only men, but all the members of my family to know how I'm feeling on a particular day. And accordingly, they act with me. So that's what I do. Another story that I have, so this was my first day at the floor when I joined my organization back in 2011. And there was this man sitting in the corner, and I just casually went and sat, right next to him. And he asked me, okay, have you, are you fresh out of college or are you a CA? To which I said, I've just graduated and this is my first day on the floor. How about you? He actually was the senior manager. And I should have known that he's the senior manager who happens to be the partner of my ex-firm at the moment. But that taught me to know your bosses. And even though it is a funny story today, it got a little embarrassing at that time. All right, back to you, TMOD. Thank you. That's all from my end.
That was a great start. Thank you, Toastmaster Arushi. So let's start with the prepared speech section. So I would like to call upon stage Toastmaster Sandeep to state the speech objective of Toastmaster Chanda.
So thank you, Toastmaster of the day. So Toastmaster Chanda will be delivering her speech from Pathways Motivational Strategies, Level 1, Project 3, Evaluation and Feedback Second Speech. And the purpose of the speech is for the member to demonstrate that she had applied the feedback received from her first speech. And I'm very sure Toastmaster Chanda will be hitting the bullseye today. Back to you, Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you, Toastmaster Sandeep. Toastmaster Chanda, know your future, Toastmaster Chanda. Over to you.
Thank you. No bond, no career, always argument with boss. I tried a lot to solve queries of my life, but I wasn't able. Good evening, Toastmasters. As we grow up, we keep facing circumstances in our life at every stage. So we definitely want to know the future of our life. But someone wants to know their death time? No, no one wants to know their death time. But yes, everyone wants to know who would be their life partner. Yes, I also want to know. But do you believe in horoscope or astrology? Sometime may not, or sometime yes. Horoscope is like a Ravi Shastri commentary. When you ask to Ravi Shastri, what would be the result? You can be win, you can lose, or they can be win-win. So Obviously, it's all about uncertainty. Horoscope is also a similar pattern of life, which is a totally uncertain. We got to know horoscope from astrology, palm reader, tarot card reader, numerologist, and they just read our stars, planets, moon, and try to find out, predict our future. If it is fact, why they can't predict their own future and pursue successful life? It was a like we just wanted to fall into some places. We are looking some ray of hope that can be a turning point of our life. My sister was Manglik, and he about to get married with Manglik guy only. It took 4 years to my parents find out a perfect partner for her. Although they are not believing in horoscope on these activities, but with the passing time, circumstances made you to believe in all stuff. I never performed all stuff. Even I hate when my parents follow such kind of process in their life. But it also made me to believe forcefully, and now I am one of those. Initially, 1 year going pretty well. There is no pressure on me. With the passing time, whenever I pick the call of my any relatives, when are you getting married? Whenever I call just to my friends and family, when you are giving good news, when you are getting married, it's like that. My ears is buzzing day and night. When you are getting married, when you are getting married, and that led me to mentally trauma. I started avoiding social gathering, disconnected from my friends and family member. And a girl who was who was never took anything serious in their life, now life became a hurdle for her. I always used to be a fun-loving girl. Now that girl become a puppet of society. And one day, with passing day, I used to cry a lot, day and night. And I just promised to that God that I will never worship you again in my dream, because this society never allow you to live your life fully. They keep taunting me about my you are not getting married. Then I realized after a few days, these society people just uploading very good and classic picture on their life on WhatsApp and social media status and enjoying their life. And I realized I am just wasting of my time just because of these who doesn't even bother how I am going through. I feeling isolated, lonely, and not finding happiness anywhere. And I realized people who are just keep commenting me, they are enjoying their life in full swing. Then I took oath that I will not bother with those comments which doesn't matter in my life anymore. I took and just found my I took a decision, took a goal towards my career. I will do something that made me feel happy about me and my life. Although I always thought some miracle happen in life, and that never happened. I also thought with astrology I can find my prince charming, but that never happened. That practice made me dumb and try to avoiding me to stress to just concentrate on my special moment in my life. With the passing time, I realized days will be tough, night will be tougher, but you have to be find best days in your life. Whatever it is just today, live it today with possibility and try to avoid those hurdles in your life which doesn't matter. No, no one, no one can just look into your life. It is up to you. You have to be It's only you and things in your hand to just work hard and prove yourself. Thank you.
Great speech, Toastmaster Chanda. Uh, let's take 30 seconds. Timer, please show the red card after 30 seconds. And I would request everybody to share their feedback in the chat section for Toastmaster Chanda. Thank you, Toastmaster Amit. I would request now Toastmaster Ojasya to come on stage and state the speech objective for Toastmaster Navjot.
Thank you, Toastmaster CHERYL. Toastmaster Navjot will be giving his icebreaker speech. It is his L1 P1 speech from Dynamic Leadership Pathways. The purpose of this project is for the member to introduce himself to the club and learn the basic structure of a public speech. I wish him all the best, and as it is his first speech, I request everyone to give a thumbs up to Toastmaster Navjot, as it will motivate him and boost his confidence. Over to you, Toastmaster CHERYL.
Thank you, Toastmaster Ojasya. So I asked Toastmaster Navjot, who do you think is a responsible adult in your life you look up to? His response was, he thinks his mentor, Grant Cardone, is a responsible adult who he looks up to, and he has made him learn how to take responsibilities in everything in life. So without further ado, I would like to call upon stage Toastmaster Navjot. I am not the smartest guy, Toastmaster Navjot.
Toastmaster Navjot, you are mute.
Okay, yeah. So, guys, can you hear me well? I'm audible. Just raise your hand. Oh, thanks. Oh, hello, fellow Toastmasters. My name is Navjot, and I'm not the smartest guy. Even I'm not urbane in anything. To recall it exactly, we have to go back in 1997 when I was a small kid and my parents thought to send me to town to enroll me in the 3rd grade. So here comes a big leap the Hindi medium guy has to make in order to board English medium train. And for this task, my bua, who was a teacher, was appointed to teach me basic English for 3rd grade. So friends, who do you know as a relative who was a teacher when you were a kid, but it was more like a dictator to you while you were a kid? Raise your hand. Oh, Namit, that's good. Yeah, guys. So I put hours into learning mathematical tables, and after 1 week, I was able to learn basic mathematical tables up to 20. And here comes the bright day. It was a bright Monday morning, and I was presented in front of my 3rd grade teacher. She didn't ask me anything about tables or English. She just pointed out towards the school diary and asked me to read out the name of the school. And I was dumb enough to only read Bal Mandir. That's all. At that point, I came to know that I'm not a smart guy. So I have to be around great people that can guide me in the life. I grew up, and then even dumbness followed me while I was in Canada. I thought I got a bachelor's degree. I've been into physical exercises for over 10 years. I know about nutrition. I play different type of sports. So it's gonna be easy peasy for me to get a job in one of the gyms in Vancouver. But oh my God, I was hell wrong. After knocking on the doors of different gyms, it took me 8 months after doing different certifications to crack the code, to, to get that dream job. So now comes another task. When I was in the gym, I thought I'm a great trainer, so people gonna come and buy my trainings. But I was wrong. This time, another word came that's called sell, completely extraterritorial to me. Sell, to convince, to persuade, to negotiate that buying my fitness training sessions are the best in their health. This time, life sent Brandon Angelucci, aka Bruno from Mars, to help me, who was a fellow salesman at the gym. Who sold whom on it, I don't know, but we both were working together for his roofing company, Alma Roofing and Chimney Service. So I have only one line to sell. First 2 months, I used the same line over and over. I knocked on the door of people and said, do you need a free no obligation quote for your roof? After 2 months, I cracked my first sale. It was like a gift from God. I did it. Bruno liked it. I loved it. Bruno gave me $200 bills as commission and a piece of sandwich as an appreciation. So, my friends, it's not whether you are smart or not. It's all about being around right people and learning from them. And to hit the bullseye, we need not to be smart all the time. We have to just connect with the right people. So I would say thank you very much. To my girlfriend, great dumbness.
Thank you, Toastmaster Navjot, for a wonderful speech. I would request the timer to show red card after 30 seconds. Meanwhile, I request everybody to share their feedback with Toastmaster Navjot.
Hi guys, in the meanwhile, am I audible? Yeah, someone say yes. Thank you so much. Yeah.
Thank you, Toastmaster Amit. So I would request Toastmaster Arushi to come on stage to state the speech objective for Toastmaster Jaskaran.
All right. Jaskaran's speech objective today is for him to learn or review on a basic research method and then present a well-organized and well-researched speech on any topic. So I hope you've researched about the topic you're going to speak on, Jaskaran, and I wish you all the very best for your speech today.
Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Arushi. So I asked Toastmaster Jaskaran, who do you think is a responsible adult in your life who you look up to? So his response was he really looks up to his mother. So Toastmaster Jaskaran, the power of sixth sense. The power of sixth sense, Toastmaster Jaskaran. All the best. Over to you.
Human beings are sitting on the top of the food chain. We are actually controlling the whole ecosystem. There must be something that we have, something extra. The sixth sense. an overhyped topic that we have been talking about, that humans have sixth sense. Is it scientific? Or is it like a supernatural power that only a few people can have? You know, human beings have had a lot of powers that they have not been using from a very long time. We were cavemen at one time. We were living in the dark. We were scaring away the wild animals. How was that happening? How did we live in the dark? For just a minute, let's talk about a few species, animals in particular, like bats and dolphins, who use a very specific method of looking in hazy environments. Bats don't have eyes. Dolphins cannot see in the murky waters. How are they managing all this? Echolocation is the answer. They send waves in the environment, and when the wave bounces back, that is when they realize the distance between them and the next object. Can humans do it? There was a social experiment conducted in which 21 to 79 years of age, both blind and the ones who could see properly, they were asked to sit in one separate room, and then in the other rooms, they sent sound waves. And they asked those people who were sitting in one separate room that in the other room, is there a moving cylinder or is there a stationary cylinder? That thing everyone could predict, which means without looking at that object, they could sense that it is not moving. This is echolocation that we already have in our system, but we are not using it. And why is that? The thing is that when you have sense organs to feel, touch, taste, and see everything, you don't use the organs, you don't use the senses that you have to use in the dangerous dark situations. When the cavemen used to sit in the dark, they had to use all these things. There are other things that we all talk about, like deja vu, a very strong concept in which we think that something has happened with us, although it has not happened. It has been explained through nerve impulses. Nerve impulses are like electrical wires inside our brain, in a layman's language. Some electrical wires are big and some are small. When thought processing happens, a lot of thought processing happens. Sometimes one particular wire processes the thought before the other wire has processed it. When two wires have actually processed the same thought together, that is when deja vu happens. It is a logical concept, not a supernatural power. People think that it is. It usually happens with people who overthink and have a lot of thoughts in mind. It doesn't happen with people who are drunk and on drugs because they don't remember anything, leave alone deja vu. We also have certain things that we have lost in us. There has been a certain research that appendix, which is basically a vestigial organ which humans are not using anymore, is of use. Actually, it is. It is storing the powerful, friendly bacteria in our gut. And when we are suffering from any stomach problems, after we are done with our course of medicines, the vestigial organs helps in restoring that bacteria back into our stomach. It has not been proven. It is a research that has been left undone. But there were things that we were doing and we are not doing right now. We are losing our sixth sense. That is what my point is. But still, I have a few instances that I heard of in my life and otherwise that will make you think that is sixth sense actually logical, or is it some kind of a superpower? There was an incident in my family in the United States. There was a mother. After a very long time, she was going to deliver a baby. And she was really happy about it. She constantly used to say her prayers all the day. Initially, she had to listen to the prayers in the audio manner. It was a very long prayer of 90 minutes. She learnt that prayer by heart. Used to pray every single day. The baby was born healthy, delivered really well. On his third birthday, they organized a congregation in their house. The same prayer was repeated in front of that small kid who was 3 years old. He could hardly speak at that time, but they realized that the kid could say all the prayer for 90 minutes, which meant that when the baby was in the womb, he could hear everything. A 3-year-old kid doesn't have that much of memory. How did he develop that? Maybe we have some power. We can hear from inside the womb. Maybe that is true, Abhimanyu. heard his father that how to break the Chakravyuh. He could not get out of it because his mother slept. Maybe that is true. I cannot say. The last point that I have to make is some people have had near death experiences. They have had it. They were lying on the deathbed. They were just going to lose their life, and they could see the light at the end of the tunnel. Some doctors explained it very well that there was too much light in the operation theater. That is the reason you could see the light at the end of the tunnel. But then some people could actually hear the conversation of the doctors, which was not possible with the level of anesthesia that was pumped into their bodies. How could they hear it? How could they see things in the doctor's room? How could they hear the joke that the doctors were making? This is an unexplainable kind of sixth sense. That's what I'm talking about. Not everyone has it. I don't want you to have that near-death experience. Go on the deathbed, check it, and come back and tell me no. There are some things that are unexplained, and I like them that ways. That is the real sixth sense. Believe it or not, it exists. My name is Jaskaran Singh. Thank you for listening to me. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Toastmaster Jaskaran. I would request the timer to show me red card after 30 seconds. Meanwhile, I request everyone to share their feedback in personal chat of Toastmaster Jaskaran. Thank you, Toastmaster Amit. So I would like to call upon stage now Toastmaster Abu to come on stage and state the speech objective for Toastmaster Shrijata.
Thank you so much, people. I've got one of our best speakers, and she is none other than Toastmaster Shrijata Tyagi. Her byproduct, is today her objective. So when she speaks, there are a lot of byproducts. And one of the byproducts is she inspires people. Today, this is her core objective, and we would love to hear what difference she can bring on the table so that we can go to the bed with a smile on our face. Over to Toastmaster of the day, CHERYL.
Thank you, Toastmaster Abu. I asked Toastmaster Shrijata, who do you think is a responsible adult in your life you look up to? Her response was, she really, the responsible adult she looks up to in her life is her elder sister. So without further ado, I would like to call upon stage Toastmaster Shrijata, the ultimate goal. The ultimate goal, Toastmaster Shrijata. All the very best, Toastmaster Shrijata.
A few days back, I had a call with my friend, and she asked me instantly, "Hey, do you remember Dave, sir?" Of course. How can I forget Dave, sir? Dave, sir, was a college lecturer. In my second semester, he taught us computer application, a subject no one took seriously. He was so disciplined and strict with his personality and nature. He stood around 5'8" tall, his hair's always oiled and properly combed, a big spectacles on his eyes with a black frame, and his shirt always tucked in. He always stood like with his back straight and hands at the back. Dave, sir, was so strict that if there's an award for the most disciplined teacher or lecturer in the India, he could have easily earned that. He was so strict with his values and with his attitude that prior to his lecture, he would go stand outside the class who is going to have his lecture next, and he will wait for the lecture to end. As the lecture ended, he would make sure each and every student goes directly straight to the lab and no one is bunking his class. He was so strict into that. Every student had a view of always bunking his class because it was computer application, but he never let us miss. In fact, if you miss more than 3 of his classes, the next time you will be entertained is only when you get your parents to meet him. While doing assignments, every teacher would leave the class for some time and students would do the assignments. But with their sir, it was opposite. He would give us assignments, he would sit on his desk with his hands folded, and he would be keenly observing each and every student, making sure that their eyes are on their practical file and not on their phones. Their sir always had this attitude every time. One day, it was a normal class, a student went to him and asked for his career advice. He gave this answer by addressing to all the students in the class. He said, fellow students, have you ever thought of giving UPSC civil service exam? Every student was like, sir, it's very difficult. In fact, we're business administration students. How can we even think of giving UPSC? He said, my dear students, I myself was a UPSC aspirant for 5 years. The moment I heard the word UPSC aspirants from his mouth, my reaction exactly like, Tabhi, you were like that. That is why you were like that. Ladies and gentlemen, whoever UPSC aspirant I came across were extremely disciplined, determined, and focused all of their lives. And when I look at him, the question of why is he like that? Why is he not like other college lecturers that we always dreamt of? But he was not like that because he had the core values of what a civil servant used to or should be having. He always motivated us for UPSC, for the most prestigious and tough exam. In fact, when he told us that he himself cleared the 2 levels of that exam but failed to cover up this interview, we were shocked that he at least passed the 2 levels of this exam. And that, my dear winners, brings to the most important question. For UPSC, that is civil service exam, every year, 11 lakh aspirants sit for this exam. Ultimately, only 1,000 win this exam or clear this exam. What about the rest 10 lakh 99,000 aspirants? Were they not disciplined? Were they not determined? Were they not as hardworking as others? Or maybe they never had a willingness to do. But one thing that was common in every of those 11 lakh aspirants was they all wanted that service. A year back, I delivered a speech in a club. And that was a speech that I gave out of my comfort zone. The moment I ended a speech, everyone expects a little few comments, some feedback, but I got none, 0 personal comments and no comments. And I was in a dilemma that the speech went so bad that none of the person commented. In fact, I didn't even win the best speaker award. The moment I ended that meeting and the moment the meeting ended, I got a text from an unknown woman. That woman said to me, I am blah, 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 blah. And then she told me, hey, I loved your speech. Can we connect for a few minutes? We talked, she called. And as we were talking, she told me how much she resonated with my speech. She loved it so much. And it was very hard to believe for what she was saying because seeing the audience reaction, I didn't feel that myself. But when she actually told the instances from my speech, I was shocked. How can she be listening to my speech so carefully? We talked for 30 minutes and I had never connected with any of the Toastmasters instantly so well. A year later, she's the most amazing friend I have in Toastmasters. Whenever I have to reach out for any help, I'll be reaching out to her. Be it in my personal life, I can speak to her about anything. I can speak about anything to her at any point of time. She's so amazing. Maybe I haven't won those votes that day, but I have won 1 heart and 1 friend that day. That was more than enough. Ladies and gentlemen, isn't it? We, all of us, are trying to achieve something. We all are trying to win something. We all are on the battle of winning something. But have you ever imagined what is the ultimate goal of whatever you are trying to achieve? What's the ultimate goal? And does that goal stop? Are you going to restrict yourself from achieving that goal if you don't win what you are expecting yourself to? All of us are on this battle of life. We sometimes are trying to win something, but we don't. Maybe Dev sir didn't win the UPSC exam, but he won our lives. He didn't win that one exam, but he's winning his students every day with his words, with his action, with his attitude, with his personality. He's winning us every day. And that is the ultimate goal of life. If it is to change lives, inspire people, or to make yourself famous, whatever it is, make sure, ladies and gentlemen, you know your ultimate goal. And always remember that one defeat should not stop you from winning other 1,000 battles of life. Toastmaster of the day. Over to you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Shajita, for a wonderful speech. I will request the tech master for the day to start the poll for the best prepared speech.
I must please confirm, are all the speakers qualified?
Yes, Toastmaster, everyone qualified.
Requesting everyone to please vote for the best speaker.
CHERYL, you can ask for the feedback for the speaker.
I would also request everyone to share their feedback in the personal chat. I request Toastmaster Amit to show me a red card after 30 seconds. Thank you, Toastmaster Amit. So let's start with the second part of the meeting, the table topic section, which will be taken over by Toastmaster Sharendra. So without further ado, I will call upon stage Toastmaster Sharendra.
A very good evening to fellow Toastmaster and dear guests. Let us have some fun now. I, Shailendra, am table topic master for today's meeting. Table topic section is among the most exciting part of the meeting, and I know everyone is desperately waiting for it, especially those who have the feeling of being an adult enough to give an impromptu speech. It boosts your confidence in public speaking because you feel fearless to speak, and also it helps us to develop our vital communication skills, which are listening, thinking, organizing, and delivering. And if you look closely enough, our adult lives also need these vital skills because we all take decisions and the skills are still the same. That is, we listen to our situation, your context, and then we think, and then we organize, and then we execute. So without further ado, let me iterate the rules for table topic section, and then we will start. First, speaker has to speak a minimum of 1 minute to qualify for voting, and a maximum of 2 minutes. 30-second grace time, about 2 minutes only. Rule number 2, timer will show green card after 1 minute and red card after 2 minutes. So I am giving a chance to all guests and fellow Toastmasters today to become adult quickly. Give impromptu on some quotes which I have prepared about life in general. Go ahead, hit the bull's eye, be a win, and let me know through the chat box who is going to volunteer first. Okay, so we have our first volunteer, Toastmaster Aditya.
Yes, Shailendra.
Topic for him today is
Thank you, Toastmaster Shailendra. That's an interesting quote. Wonder is the beginning of wisdom. If you have read Alice in Wonderland, the phrase goes curiouser and curious. So I think in many ways we are in a wonderland, because what is wisdom but amalgamation of all experiences? and what is experience doing the same thing again and again, and yet it can come back in a negative manner. So I wonder what would be an alternate universe if what would be an alternate universe of 2020 if circumstances hadn't been what they were. Would we have Ritika and Amit as members, or would we have some other members? That's a wonder, and that's the wisdom we have. And in an online meeting, when we started, we were little wet behind the ears, but now after 15 months, we have become wise how to carry on the meeting. So we were wondering how the online meetings would go on, but experience and a bit of urbane has given us this momentum. So yes, we are adults, yet we have a curious mind which is usually associated with children, and then with wonder comes experience, and with experience comes curiosity. Back to the table topic master.
Thank you, Toastmaster Aditya. Now we have our next speaker as guest, Ajat Singh. Ajat Singh, your table topic is on the screen.
In every real man, child is hidden that wants to play. Yes, that is very interesting. Actually, I would say that every real man has that child who wants to play. I would turn it around and I would say that a real man is that who has his child alive in it. Because that enthusiasm, energy, as speaker 3 and 4 in the meeting as well spoken with the energy. So that energy is always driven by the child itself in us. So which is real, because child is as real as God. We all say that child is the face of God, because they are so pure. And when purity is there, then you have so much of positivity. And with that positivity, you can do anything in the world. You can achieve any kind of goal. So if a child is there in you, then it makes you real and pure. You can drive anything. And that urbane quality is, driven by that purity. You can hit the bullseye in any field of life. That's all I want to say. And thank you so much for giving me an opportunity to speak. Back to you, sir.
Thank you, guest Ajat Singh. Now we have our third topic, and I would invite Toastmaster Subhashri for that.
He who defines himself can't know who really is. Okay, these are very interesting topics. He who defines itself can't really know who he is definitely something which does not have one singular answer. It's all about how you perceive it as to how you want this to be. I would look at it in two ways. One is that if we always, probably by defining ourselves, it also has its own pros and it also has its own cons. I would say that to not define oneself is the best way, is to keep it limitless. By defining ourselves, we will make our be it our ambitions, be it our thoughts, be it our friendships or anything. By defining what we want to, by setting limitations, will stop us from being completely ourselves or completely exploring what can we do. At the same time, also by setting definitions is also helps you to be able to channelize your mind, focus on things that you really want to do. So I think that's a very interesting topic. and it has two ways to go, that do you really want to define yourself or not? And I will go that I would not like to define myself. Thanks.
Thank you, Toastmaster Subhashri. Now we have fourth topic for today's table talk, and I would invite guest Deeptendu for the talk, and here the topic on the screen.
All right. Mr. Table Topics Master, fellow Toastmasters, and dear guests. How often do you go for a walk to clear your head? Maybe probably every day? Quite often, as I can see the joke master raising two hands. So she certainly goes for a walk to clear her head. And do you know why it helps us clear our head? Because many a times, although many of us might be putting these lids in our ears while walking, but if we actually just be with ourselves while we walk, it helps us really sift through the chatter that is going on in our head and really absorb things which we really want to imbibe in our lives and let go of the clutter. That is how walking actually helps in clearing our head. And I have often found that good ideas are found when you are one with yourself. You might not be really feeling every part of your body when you are walking, because walking is not that strenuous that strenuous a physical exercise. But the thing is, when you are walking, you actually feel the breeze touching your skin. You are actually able to breathe in pure air. You are able to see greenery around if you're walking in a park. In fact, even if you're walking in chaos with traffic all around, there is a certain sense of calmness when you're walking. And many a times when you are in the comfort of your home, you're not able to find that calmness. That is why when we go for a walk, great ideas that can really change our life strike us. And we actually are able to gather enough energy and motivation within so that we are able to implement them in our life. So I can only thank the Table Topics Master for sharing a topic related to walking with me, because I am a big proponent of walking. Walk not just to keep yourself physically healthy, walk to keep yourself mentally healthy as well. Thank you so much.
That was great. Thank you, guest Deeptendu. Now we have the fifth topic for today, and I would like to invite Toastmaster Abu for the talk. Here, on the screen, you have the topic.
Wow. The only true wisdom is in knowing you know nothing. So, over a period of time, what we realize is what is very easy for all of us is learning. Anyone can learn. I'm in learning and development field. And one thing that I have realized is the easy part is learning something new, but the most difficult part is to let go of what you know. To unlearn is the new learning today. And let me tell you why is it difficult to unlearn. Because when you unlearn something, you feel that you are losing a part of yourself. So for instance, like I'm 17 years of age, and in this 17 years of age, because you have carried it for 17 years, you believe it is true. And all of a sudden, when you have to let go, you would feel a part of you missing. But my dear friends, the moment you let go, that's the time when you truly realize how awesome it is. It is very important, especially for a country like India, if we are looking forward to become a developed nation. The only way to move forward is to let go of what we already know and learn from people who are doing excellent. One of the reasons why we have, as a nation, as a population, we haven't progressed is because when you do not let go, you also tend to become arrogant. And if you flip the pages of history, you will understand that all civilization went down the drain because they were not able to let go of their learning. So my question to all of you will always be, what are you looking forward to unlearn today? So if you can ask this question to yourself every day, what is it that you would like to let go? And what do you want to unlearn? Trust me, there is an urbane person who is about to get birth from you. Over to the table topic master.
Thank you, Toastmaster Abu. I believe that was quite holistic. Now, I would like to invite sixth speaker, guest Utkarsh, and guest Utkarsh. You will find the topic on the screen, and here it is.
Beware the barrenness of a busy life. I think I very much, I very much relate with this topic because, in this work from home life, and when we are working from home, we are so much busy, in our own lives, and we are always, doing something. We're always busy with something, and I feel like busy is a very negative word. We should say that we are currently doing this one thing at one time, and we should not say that we are busy, because it tells us that we have a lack of time. But yeah, and we should always be aware that what things that we are doing, that we're constantly busy in. Because when we're doing a particular thing, we are so much involved in that thing that we are not able to actually see what the things should be done on priority. So before actually getting into something, or before actually getting into something, we should first of all take a bird's eye view and actually understand what are the things that should be done on priority. And on the basis of that, we should always have a check on what we are doing, rather than just getting busy with things. And also I feel like, being very, it also relates to being very much self-aware of what you're doing, and just not getting into the scheme of things. Also, we should, and there's a very good quote that I also feel with that, is that we should not forget the forest from the trees. So while we are in doing the things, we should not actually forget what is the actual purpose, what is the whole perspective with which we should try to achieve that thing. So in conclusion, I would like to say that we should be much more self-aware of doing things while we are at it, and we should always spend some time having a bird's eye view of what we're doing. Thank you.
Thank you, guest Utkarsh, and I believe that was quite authentic. Now we will have seventh speaker, who would be guest Neha.
Toastmaster Shailendra, we can't take more.
Okay, thank you, Toastmaster Amit. Over to you. Yeah, before that, I would like to invite polling session. Toastmaster Arushi.
Toastmaster Amit, are all the speakers qualified?
Yes, Ritika, everyone is qualified.
Toastmaster Shailendra, you can continue.
Okay, with that, we have concluded our table topic section, and over to you, Toastmaster of the day, CHERYL.
Thank you, Toastmaster Shailendra. So, concluding to my theme.
So, CHERYL, you have to hand over the stage, General Evaluator, Toastmaster Shivangi.
Okay. I would like to call upon stage our General Evaluator, Toastmaster Shivangi.
Thank you, Toastmaster Cheryl. So now begin the boring section of the meeting, which is the evaluation. But whatever magic you see in the first half of the meeting does not happen by an accident. It is a result of continuous effort. So with this, I would like to invite the evaluators who have been working behind the scenes to evaluate the members and also present their reports. So with this, first let me invite the speech evaluators. And the first speech evaluator who's evaluating Toastmaster Chanda's speech is Toastmaster Sandeep. Please welcome Toastmaster Sandeep.
Thank you, General Evaluator Toastmaster Shivangi. Live, love, and laugh. Keep this motto in your life you will be always happy. This is a famous quote of our very much urban Bijan Daruwala. Today, Toastmaster Chanda has taken down me to the memory lanes. She really connected me with her theme. And what was her theme? Astrology and marriage, girl marriage in Indian society. And I was immediately related. 70% of the people, whenever there are exams or a critical things, start looking newspaper. Even today also, I am reading in my newspaper what's my horoscope and all. So she really engaged me with her topic. And what I really love in her speech, the second thing, her hand gestures. When she said she was waiting for her Prince Charming, I hope I'm making the right sign, she has done beautifully. When she was saying, are you getting married? You can really feel and getting engaged or connected with her. And when she was sobbing and wiping her eyes and all. So excellent usage of hand gestures and all. And what we always believe as we move in the speeches, there are some places where definitely we can work on and take this speech to the next level. So the other thing I felt today, while the camera angle was still not too up to her torso. So what I could see, she was looking more down toward the camera. So there's an advice, a recommendation to Toastmaster Chanda to maybe use some books or maybe use some tripod and all, the one where the angle of your camera is towards your face. So it will make a very different connect with the audience on the speech. Again, we always recommend in Toastmasters, if you are using some Hindi words and all, try to translate in English. Some of the people may not, and like she used a word mangli, which means a person born under the influence of Mars and all. Maybe we should do that. And I could see her only standing in one pose on the stage. As we move, she can use her stage well. That can again enhance the engagement with the audience. Again, coming back to the biggest commendation for her, she has reached her objective of the speech, which was basically applying the feedback from the last speech. So I could really see that she had a good light, which the observation was given live last time, and a clarity in her words and all. So moving as a summary, good audience engagement with relevant topic, excellent hand gestures, and applying the feedback from the first speech, and a recommendation of use of stage properly and the camera in a proper position, and try to translate Hindi words if you are using in the speech to English. Good job. And Arben, Toastmaster Chanda, back to you, the general evaluator.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Sandeep. So now the next speech evaluator is Toastmaster Ojasya, who is evaluating the icebreaker speech of Toastmaster Navjot. Please welcome Toastmaster Ojasya.
Hello, everyone. There are certain things which make a pizza more delicious. For me, they are oregano, double cheese, thin crust, and chili flakes. All these ingredients help me make the pizza more tasty. Similarly, in a speech, there are certain ingredients which make it urbane and elegant. The first one is structure of a speech, clarity of the speech, appropriate pauses. And to spice it a little bit, audience engagement can add wonders to the speech. I think all these ingredients were present in Toastmaster Navjot's speech. He started the speech from 1997, where he learned tables and mathematics from his aunt, and how he realized that good people can add wonders to his life. And though it was an icebreaker speech, he was confident enough to engage the audience by asking whom they think as a person who is both a teacher and a dictator. And this particular statement fulfilled the audience engagement criteria and also added some humor into the speech. I was amazed when he used both the idiom of the day and word of the day. Because generally in a speech, in a first speech, people are nervous and it is difficult for them to incorporate a new word or a new statement. But Toastmaster Navjot took the challenge and fulfilled it fantastically. Also, I liked the way he transitioned from his childhood to his adulthood, where he learned marketing skills from different people and improved himself. Wow, Toastmaster Navjot. Coming back to my pizza story again, every time when I eat a pizza, I always think, what can I do to make it more tastier? And sometimes I add mustard sauce to it to make it more tasty. Similarly, I think Toastmaster Navjot could have given more information about himself, of what he's doing currently, and maybe his future plans. So in that case, we would have got to know more about him. Overall, the speech was urbane and he hit the bullseye by completing the speech objective by describing himself. I'm astonished, being his first speech, he was able to deliver it wonderfully, and the ingredients of humor and audience engagement forced me to look to the speech objectives again, because I thought he's giving his fourth or fifth speech. And the speech was delivered amazingly. So overall, it was a very nice speech, and I hope we will get to know more about him from his upcoming speeches. Over to you, Toastmaster Shivangi.
Thank you, Toastmaster. This was such a wonderful feedback for a P1. Now, the next speech evaluator is our very own, very experienced Toastmaster Arushi, who will be evaluating Toastmaster Jaskaran. So over to you, Toastmaster Arushi.
Thank you, General Evaluator Shivangi. Navjot, you had us at the power of sixth sense. What a topic to choose and begin with. Not only his topic, but the words that he used and the topics that he discussed all through the speech, like deja vu, near-death experience. It is not possible for even one member to stray their attention to any other place when these topics are getting discussed. Wow, you hit the bull's eye with the topic of the speech as well as the content of the speech. So whenever I've read this speech objective or heard in a Toastmasters meeting that, the member has to present a well-researched speech, it is always followed by a PPT. But Jaskaran took the road less traveled and he researched and memorized a topic that he did not know about. So I think kudos for that. And thank you for also changing our perspective about how we can deliver a well-researched speech without a PowerPoint presentation. Thank you. Also, I felt that the entire speech was not a speech, but a power-packed action thriller with suspense building on from one moment to another. And I was hooked. I was trying to also second guess, what's going to come up next, which just added a lot of anticipation and again caught the attention of the audience, which was the highlight of his entire speech. I also felt like it was a turncoat debate because he introduced a topic and then he's talking about how sixth sense is present. And he also said, oh no, maybe it's not present, but if you use logic, then sixth sense doesn't exist. So he showed us both sides of the coin and he ended up telling us what he thinks if sixth sense actually is a thing or not. So he gave us our conclusion on what he thought about sixth sense. My only recommendation was in this beautiful speech, there were one or two places where I thought you forgot this, content and it came on your face. So, I mean, of course, we say that when you forget, you should pause, and you did that. But just one next step would be that don't let it come on your face. And that's my only recommendation. Apart from that, I feel the speech objective was fulfilled. The tone used, the pauses were absolutely right. And this was a recommendation in his last speech, which he fulfilled in the current speech as well. So great on that. Yeah, so overall, great speech, great content, great, creation of suspense. Recommendation would be to, just recommendation would be to just seem confident when you forget something. And that's all from my end. Back to you, GE.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Ashley. That was a wonderful evaluation. Now, our last speech evaluator for Toastmaster Shrejita, who's evaluating Toastmaster Shrejita's speech, is Toastmaster Abu. So please welcome Toastmaster Abu.
Thank you so much, General Evaluator Shivangi. The moment I heard this name, Dave, there are a lot of Daves that we know. And one of my favorite Dave is Dave from Dharkan. Being a Bollywood lover, I was so inspired. So today I have got a second Dave in my life. Toastmaster Shrejita, when you started, I was wondering what is it with this strict teacher that can inspire people? And whenever teachers are strict, they are not taken in that particular manner. So I was really concerned. But a person who has to live your speech has to listen to the complete story, wherein it made so much sense that success is not about that one time you clearing your UPSC or winning an Olympic gold medal. It's about what you do every day. It's about not being or taking that particular designation, but showing the world that yes, I'm fit for this role. What a wonderful way. Thank you so much for that lovely story. The second story that I liked was whenever you give a speech, and she said her story is one of the things is apart from all these certificates, we speakers always want to inspire people. And even if one person turns around and says that our speech was good and he or she can connect, it feels all the hard work has been justified. So great job on that. What comes very naturally to Toastmaster Shrejita, and this is something that I've been observing for the past 1.5 years, and a takeaway for me is she will always stand and deliver. Standing and deliver, above all, also shows the respect for something. And when you display respect for whatever you do, it will inspire people. What is the second thing that inspired me? It's her cool and calm storyteller. I am sure if you wake up Toastmaster Shrejita at 12 midnight and ask her to narrate a story, she can narrate a story there. And you would never come to know whether it is prepared speech or table topics. So these were the things that went amazing. Now, how can we go ahead? Haters will say that I have copied this from Toastmaster Ojasya. But what is the true biryani? A true biryani for me is something that accompanies with raita. Now, what could be that raita? Toastmaster Shrejita, Arbain and Bullseyes. How can you miss that? It's a speech that can have that. The second thing is when you shared the data that there are these many UPSC aspirant and only these many qualify, I was looking forward to hear the source and I missed that. But having said all of that things, what a wonderful speech to inspire. Body language, gesture, storyteller, story, content, you are master. What could have been better is going ahead using word of the day, idiom of the day. You can use it and I know it and the world knows it. And also sharing the data, the source. My personal takeaway from your speech will be to stand and deliver because that's the respect and continue to inspire all of us. All to you, Shivangi.
Thank you, Toastmaster Abu. I indeed know how difficult it was to evaluate Toastmaster Shrejita. So now we will move on to the auxiliary role player who are the real hard workers of this meeting today.
To the polling for best evaluator.
Sorry, Toastmaster. Yes, please. So are all the speakers qualified for voting? Toastmaster Amit, please confirm.
Yes, all are qualified.
Okay. Toastmaster Ritika, please launch the poll for the best speech evaluator. There's some disturbance. I'll request everybody who's not speaking to be on mute, please.
Toastmaster Shivangi, you can continue.
Yeah. So thank you, Toastmaster Ritika. So now, quickly moving on to the auxiliary role play, the real star of the meeting, who will help us become better in the next meeting. So I would like to start in the reverse order. So please welcome Toastmaster Shubhashri, who is playing the listener of the day.
Thank you, GE. I left you guys with asking that do you think is there anyone who do you think is a good listener in someone whom you know or someone who is famous? Anyone who would like to go for it? Abu, please.
It has to be my work colleague. Her name is Megha, and she can so much listen to everything that I have to say. And she hasn't complained or left the team for 2 years, which means that she is a great listener.
Great. Okay, that's nice. Anybody else would like to just share someone who's been a good listener? Yeah, Azad.
Yes, my mother
Yeah,
is
Azad,
very,
please
is
go
a
ahead.
very good listener. My mother is a very good listener. I can discuss the world with her, and that's what makes her a good listener. She would sit and listen to everyone in the family, not just me, everyone in the family, every problem, and yes, she would give you the solution as well. So for me, it is my mother. Thanks.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you. I just wanted, because we don't usually pay attention to who is a good listener. So I just thought maybe if we just take a second and think who we have seen as a good listener would help. So moving forward, I will now ask you a few questions from today's meeting and see who is going to win some great amount of cash today. Starting with the first question. So anyone can tell me what was the title of Toastmaster Chanda's speech? You can raise your hand or put. Okay, Azad. Okay, yeah, Azad. Sorry.
Know your future. Know your future horoscope. You called my name. Sorry.
Yeah. Sorry. Yeah, go ahead.
Know your future horoscope. That was her topic.
Okay, I think that wasn't the topic. Anyone else who would like to go for it? Okay, Shrejita.
Know your future?
Okay. I think then my bad. Yeah, I think I got the wrong. Yeah. Okay. Thanks. I'll move on to the next question. She also used this horoscope is like the dash of commentatory. Anyone who remembers who said that? Who was the dash? Toastmaster Aditya. Although I see.
Like Ravi Shastri's commentary.
Yeah. Okay. Thanks. I think I've really run out of time. And I'll just ask one last question. Can you name any one topic from the Table Topic Masters, Shailendra's list today? Any one topic. There was such amazing topics, so I just thought if anyone remembers any. I can see Azad's hand. Okay, Azad, go for it.
A real man is one who keeps a child alive in him.
Okay. Thanks, Azad. I think I still have time on me. And okay, so I would just like to end by saying that some 5 things of how we can be a good listener is you're in the here and now, point 1. Point 2, distractions don't stand a chance with you. You're curious, you're sincere and open-minded. And lastly, you ask the right questions. So I would end by saying the art of conversation lies in listening, as someone called Malcolm Forbes said. Thank you. Back to you, General Evaluator.
Thank you, Toastmaster Shivashri, for the wonderful listening activity you did. So now the next auxiliary role player who is going to come on the stage is Toastmaster Aditya, Grammarian of the day. So please welcome Toastmaster Aditya.
Toastmaster Shivangi. So I have a question for all the members. If you can correct this, these society people, what would be the correct sentence? Shrejita, these society people, what would be the correct sentence? Azad?
People of the society.
Yes, thank you, Ritika. All right. let's move further. So, which is a better phrase, today's meeting or tonight's meeting? Looking at that we start at 6:30, so would it be today's meeting or tonight's meeting? Shubhashri?
I think today's meeting.
All right, that's fine. So we have a couple of the word of the day was used by Shivangi, Shubhashri, Utkarsh, Sandeep, and Ojasya twice, as well as Abu. The idiom of the day was used by me, Ojasya, Navjot, and Azad used it twice. So I have a couple of very interesting phrases as Shubhashri asked. Horoscope is like a Ravi Shastri commentary. Interesting analogy because you don't know what's going to come from him. And I'll add to that that if you want to know how to speak well, then in terms of Indian speakers, he's one of the best in describing situations. If you want to know how to get into the depth of describing things, listen to old Ravi Shastri tapes, since he's not the commentator right now. So listen to before 2017. All right, let's move on. And there's one more suggestion. There was the word hate used by a speaker. We can replace hate by dislike or not in favor, because hate is a rather strong word and come out as negative. So if you say I hate something, you can say I dislike this thing, or I'm not in favor of such things. So it will be neither negative, yet you will have your opinion will be considered. Moving on, it's not about being the smartest guy, it's about being near the right people. One of the speakers linked Sixth Sense said that humans are at the top of the food chain with and a combination of scientific and supernatural. Words like deja vu. True wisdom is in knowing nothing. Barrenness, beware of a barrenness of busy life. Ojasya and Abu use the analogy of biryani and pizza to connect with evaluation and what can we do to have ingredients, and what, so the analogy was novel and very interesting. And then one of the speakers said turncoat debate, a bird's eye view. Now one final question for the speakers are very much urbane bejan daru wala. Can anyone correct this sentence apart from Ritika, Shubhashri? Any guest can correct the sentence?
Can you give the sentence once again?
One of the speakers said are very much urbane bejan daru wala. Quickly, I have 25 seconds. 20 seconds.
A quote by Bejan Darwala.
Thank you. All right. So, an interesting use. Thank you for using the word of the day, because it was an urbane word of the day, and I think all the speakers hit the bullseye by using them. So, thank you so much. Back to the GE. Right on time.
That's really interesting for you to finish on time, Toastmaster Aditya. So moving on to the next auxiliary role player, who is actually responsible for taking care of our R's. So now, without further ado, the R counter of the day, Toastmaster Sandla.
Good evening, fellow. Thank you, Toastmaster
Toastmaster
Shivangi.
Sandra, please welcome to the
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes, please go ahead.
So, good evening, fellow Toastmasters and dear guest. I am back with my R counter report. So, Toastmaster CHERYL, she used 2 times A, and Shailendra used repeated 2 repeated words, and Toastmaster Shivangi was flawless. Then Toastmaster Chanda, she used one time A, and Jaskaran, he used a long pause, one long pause, and Shrejita was flawless. Toastmaster Sandeep, he used 2 times A. Toastmaster Ojasya, he used and 4 times, and Arushi, Toastmaster Arushi, she used A 2 times, and Toastmaster Abu, he used A 1 time. Toastmaster Amit, he used R 1 time. Toastmaster Aditya, 1 long pause. Toastmaster Subhashri, she used a 8 times. Toastmaster Arushi again 1 time. And our one guest, Deependu, or he used you know 2 times. And one more guest, Utkarsh, he used 1 time and repeated word 2 times, and what 2 times, and you know 4 times. So this is all from my side, and I have a tip for people to use not to use the related words. We can practice with the friends or family members while reciting the speech to them, and then we come to the stage, and we should be confident at the time of giving speech, and we should have a concise sentence and speech formation. So over to you, Toastmaster Shivangi. That's all from my side. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Sandra, for your detailed evaluation and taking out time to count hours for everybody. Now, without further ado, I would like to invite the timer of the day, the VPR of the club, Toastmaster Amit. Please welcome Toastmaster Amit.
Good evening, everyone. I am here once again with my report. So let's start with the report. So Sergeant at Arms Toastmaster Ritika took 1 minute 30 seconds in her mission statement. President Toastmaster Jimmy took 6 minutes 5 seconds. Toastmaster of the day Toastmaster CHERYL took 6 minutes 47 seconds in her theme introduction. Joke Master Toastmaster Arushi took 2 minutes as a joke master. Toastmaster Chanda as first speaker, she took 6 minutes 20 seconds. Toastmaster Navjot took 4 minutes 30 seconds. Toastmaster Jaskaran took 6 minutes 28 seconds, and Toastmaster Sajta took 7 minutes 20 seconds in their speech section. Then table topic section, complete table topic section was for 16 minutes, and speakers Toastmaster Aditya took 1 minute 32 seconds. Guest Ajad took 1 minute 29 seconds. Toastmaster Shubhashri took 1 minute 24 seconds. Guest Dipantelu took 2 minutes 5 seconds. Toastmaster Abu took 1 minute 57 seconds. And Toastmaster Utkarsh, Toastmaster, guest Utkarsh took 2 minutes. In the evaluation section, speech evaluator Toastmaster Sandeep, who evaluated Toastmaster Chanda, took 20 seconds in the introduction section and 2 minutes 58 seconds in evaluation section. Toastmaster Ujasya took 28 seconds in the when he shared the speech objective and 2 minutes 40 seconds in the evaluation section. Toastmaster Arushi took 45 seconds in the when she shared the objective of the speech and 3 minutes 30 seconds in the evaluation section. Toastmaster Abu took 26 seconds in the introduction and when he shared the speech objective, and 3 minutes 20 seconds in his report, speech evaluation. Grammarian Toastmaster Aditya took 2 minutes in the introduction part and 3 minutes 30 seconds in the report part. Listener Toastmaster Shubhashri, in introduction part she took 2 minutes, and in her report part she took 3 minutes 50 seconds. All counter Toastmaster Sandra took 25 seconds in introduction section and 2 minutes 40 seconds in her report section. I, Toastmaster Amit, took 1 minute in the introduction, and right now I am almost on the time, so took around 2 minutes 40 seconds. And so I just want to share a tip that would help you to complete your speeches or your presentation on time. That is, whenever you are coming on the platform, don't ask the open-ended question, because when you ask the open-ended question, then you don't know how long time other person is going to take. So avoid these questions. And if you want to ask the question, keep your question close-ended, or if anyone is not speaking, then you just start with your giving the reply from your end and start with further. So that's from my end. Over to you, General Welcome for today's Toastmaster Shivangi. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Amit. I will request you to please confirm if all the alternate role player are available, are qualified for that polling.
Yes, apart from Toastmaster Shubhashri, everyone is qualified for voting.
Toastmaster Radhika, please launch the poll for voting.
Toastmaster Shwangi, you can continue.
Thank you, Toastmaster Radhika. So with this, we have come to the end of the meeting and now begin my overall evaluation for the meeting. So starting with the basic, we started on the time. We welcomed the guests and Sergeant at Arms led down the objectives. Now, a great thing I want to highlight is how well we have transformed and work on all of the glitches which we face on an online meeting. When Toastmaster Ritika faced a network challenge, she immediately transferred the control to Toastmaster Nimit, who is the president. And when Toastmaster Nimit was not able to, continue because of the network issue, Toastmaster Amit took a by default stage. So kudos to the EC for taking and conducting the meeting very, very seamlessly. It's such a challenge, especially in terms of online meeting when we don't know what will happen the next minute. So I really wanted to highlight that. Now, overall, the meeting was conducted in terms of time. A very well meeting was conducted. Now I will quickly jump on the evaluation for the role players. So starting with the table topic masters, I really like her theme in terms of how we are talking about adult and what is meant by being adults. Oh, and I also see that she introduced everybody, all the speakers. But a few things which I feel that could have been better is that one, when she was asking for people's feedback. So every time when you were asking, you were saying that timer, please give me 30 seconds, and then you were saying please give the feedback to the speaker. So it is very important to mention that please provide your valuable feedback to the speakers, and we are going to provide you 30 seconds for that. And it is based on the table topic master, the TMOD, that people will give more and more feedback. Second important thing is that the table topic master and the GE were not introduced in terms of uh, the introduction, the basic biograph. So as all the roles are just to make yourself the star, everybody else a star. So it is very, very important to make people shine even when you're introducing or whenever you're talking. So that is one thing which I felt was lacking somewhere. And the third, I mean, being an adult is the power you have to choose what to do with your time. So that is an amazing new concept which I have learned today, and maybe I will become an adult soon. Now the next role player was table topic master, Toastmaster Sharendra. Now it is what we witnessed today is one of the most active guest participation in the table topic, which means that the table topic were really picked well so that everybody was getting interested. In the chat sections, people were volunteering after so much of a time. Like usually people volunteer in the first half and then everybody is like silent. But in this particular table topic, what I saw was a flow of volunteership after 2-3 speeches have went. So the guest felt very, very, very welcomed and very easy. One of the very important point I want to highlight here is that uh, we do not start with somebody who is having a role. So it is the ownership, it is the job of the table topic master to pick anybody who is not having a role in the meeting. Like the president was not having a role in the meeting, the sergeant of arm was not having a role in the meeting, and there were few of the members who are not talking in this meeting. So people are generally shy, but our goal is also to have our members also participate. We have a equal participation of member versus guest today. However, like people who do not have any role should have participated first and then the auxiliary role player. That is a important point. Maybe the BPR also can improvise on it whenever the next table topic master will come. And yeah, in terms of all the table topic participants, I witnessed really interesting table topic session because everybody was able to make speak out their heart. Like all the guests even who were speaking, I witnessed that they were not feeling any ease. There was no nervousness. I don't know how. Like when I was a first time guest, I really feel anxious and nervous to speak in front of such a well-versed crowd. So great job to all the guests without naming anybody. And with this, I move on quickly to the speech evaluators. So the first speech evaluator was Toastmasters Sandeep. I really want to appreciate on the fact that you noted the movements, the expression, and the emotion of the speaker. When we talk about communication, it's not just content, it's not just what the message you are going to pass, but it is like we communicate as a whole body. And when Toastmaster Sandeep gave his evaluation, he noticed all those things when Toastmaster Chanda was speaking, and he highlighted that. Not just hand gestures, but the movement, the facial expression as well. So he was actually a very attentive listener. He followed the CRC summary and also checked what was the speaker's last for for making Toastmaster Chanda better in the next speech. Uh, what I want to highlight is that if you can give more relevant feedback to the speaker in terms of improvising the speaking, I mean the angle, camera angle, and all those things were correct, but just more improvisation on how well uh, how the person can speak in their next speech. Now the next evaluator was Toastmaster Odysseus. And Toastmaster Odysseus, you just blown away I was just blown away by your speech today, by your evaluation, because I know how difficult it is to evaluate a P1. You have to be so gentle. You have to be easy on the person because they're coming to the stage for the first time. And you devoured this challenge like a very sweet, a very tasty pizza. It was just so easy. You reiterated everything, and the way you presented it was so flawless, so confident. Like if I would have been the P1 speaker, I would have felt that oh my god, I'm just the champ, and they're just taking me for a ride. So great job done. CRC was followed and summarization was also done. No last feedback mentioned because it was the first speech. Great job done there. The next evaluator was Toastmaster Arushi. I really appreciate her picking on the right things and showing the describing the speech again. For Toastmaster Abu, I really like when you revisited the speech, and mentioned your favorite biryani again. I was looking for more recommendation for Toastmaster Sharita because you are also a very accomplished speaker and she's also on a similar path. So any more feedback which can help her improvise on her speech. Recommendation is important, but I also know that how difficult it is. So this brings me to the end of my evaluation. Over to the Toastmaster of the day. I hope all of us grow with this. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Shivangi, for a wonderful and detailed report of the whole meeting, the overall meeting. So concluding my theme, becoming an adult is more of an elusive sort of abstract concept that I thought when I was younger. I just assumed you get to a certain stage and everything makes sense. Bless my little young heart, I had no idea. I can say that sometimes I feel like an adult and a lot of times I don't. So over to you, Toastmaster Nimit, our presiding officer.
Thank you, Toastmaster CHERYL. Wow, how many of you agree that today's meeting was actually great in quality? Right? I mean, I have to say that today's meeting was class apart. All the anchors, CHERYL, Shivangi, Shailendra, they were so well prepared with their roles. All the speakers, Chanda, Shajita, again, powerful with their content. I must definitely give a big shout out to Toastmaster Navjot and Toastmaster Jaskaran, who were our guest speakers, and their speech was delight to my ears and everybody at this club. So, big kudos to you guys. Please keep visiting our club. It's really good to have diversity and new members bring that new feeling to the club. The guest in the table topic section, Toastmaster Utkarsh and another guest, I'm sorry, I'm forgetting the name, the one who spoke on walk. I mean, it did not look like you were guest, you look like accomplished speakers. Again, that goes a lot about the quality of the club and the guests we have here. The evaluators, I must say this, Toastmaster Sandeep, Ojasya, Abu and Arushi. They are like the Sachin, Sehwag, Ganguly and Dravid. You will never see four of them again. They are class apart, they are indomitable. So it was delight to see all such four great speakers on the same platform competing head on. Auxiliary role players again supported so well. Amit, Sandra, Aditya, Arushi, Shubhashri, all of them, perfect combination of experience and novice speaker. And this is what I call quality of the club. Having said that, and since we are exceeding time, I will request everyone to vote for the best anchor. Toastmaster Ritika, if you could initiate the poll for that, please. Perfect. Let's try to make this a little quick. Right. So Toastmaster Ritika, once that is done, if you could also initiate the poll for the meeting quality. Right. Toastmaster Ritika, once that is done, I'm sure you must be preparing the awards. Let me know once that is done, right? Right. So this is another question for all members. We are thinking to plan a non-virtual meeting in the month of August. If you would be willing for same, please do let us know your thoughts. Toastmaster Ritika, can you mention how much time will the awards take? Basis that I will say a few announcements then.
5 people are left.
Okay.
You can continue, Toastmaster.
All right. While Toastmaster Ritika prepares the award, let me make a few announcements regarding the club activities. So 14th of August, we have planned actually a guest speaker who will visit our club and will deliver a speech on very apt and relatable topic for the club members, and guests are more than welcome to come. 14th of August is the date, so please block your calendars. I will share another Excel sheet on our WhatsApp group where I will request you to share some information about yourself. This is to give the guest speaker more insights about each one of us so she can plan her content well. I will share that document on our WhatsApp group. Another important information is that we have evaluation contest coming up. So what you saw today, evaluation section, there is a whole contest planned around it. In the Toastmaster fraternity, it is done at club level, winners go to area level, district level, national level, and international. So the event will happen sometime in September. Please, all guests who think and want to be a part of a club, I invite you for same. And all members who think would want to compete for such an event, I urge you that you take more of evaluation roles in the coming meetings, and that will prepare you better to compete with, at such an international level. So that is something that is very important and about to come up. Having said that, that's pretty much wraps up the information from my end. Toastmaster Ritika, if you are done, we are good to go with awards.
Toastmaster Nimit, star performer.
I'm sorry, who's the star performer?
If you can request people to DM the name of the star performer.
Right. So Abu, let's take that on the WhatsApp group in the interest of time, since so we'll share that information on the WhatsApp group, right? Right. So it's just taking a few seconds for the award certificates to be out. And please do not leave the meeting right now. All your efforts need to be acknowledged and appreciated right now. Okay, so while the awards are being done, let's try to wrap it off real quick. Let's have a selfie. As a customary thing, what we do at our club is we have a selfie that's taken at the end of the meeting, and there is a pose. There's a signature pose that is given by anybody in the meeting. And in this meeting, I will request somebody. Let me request. Let me request a guest. Any guest would want to take. Toastmaster, Toastmaster Jaskar, and if you could, make a signature pose and everybody will copy that and then we'll take a selfie. If that's okay with you.
Okay, maybe.
All right, anything. Today you were the star performer, so anything you say. All right, that's all right. Everybody's got to do that. And people who are not visible on the video, if I would request if you could turn it on and come up for this last selfie thing. Right, Toastmaster Ritika, if you could please. And this will all be released on Times of India, Indian Express, and the Hindu.
Done.
Thank you. So, Master Ritika, if your net is in a working mode, can we have the perfect best speaker, Toastmaster Jaskaran Sin as expected. Great job, great job. We look forward to having you more in our club. Best table topic speaker, once again, guest Diptendu. Great job. Best speech evaluator. He is the Sehwag of our club, Toastmaster Ojasya. Job perfectly done. Best auxiliary role player. Wow. Toastmaster Amit Kumar, who is a leader, Vice President Education, leading from the front. Great job, Amit. And Best Anchor Award goes to Toastmaster Shivangi Bansal, who's again a veteran Toastmaster and one of the pillars of strength to our club. Shivangi, great job. Wow, and that pretty much sums it. Just the last, we have sort of exceeded our time. I would like to, end this on a quote. My closing quote would be, an 8th century American philosopher, his name is Wayne Berghoff. I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing it wrong. He says, it takes 1 hour of presentation for each minute of presentation time on stage, which means if you speak for 1 minute on this platform or any platform for that matter, 1 minute on stage requires 1 hour of preparation behind the stage. And so if anybody wonders, how do you become a better speaker? Or if you wonder, why do other people do better than you? Preparation is the reason. And this is what we have to work on. It was an absolute pleasure to host you all today. I look forward to seeing you all next week. Thank you so much, guys. Good night. Stay safe.
Good night. Bye-bye.